Hello, I am Omaji Andaria, and I'm here today with the Council of Light to support you in welcoming expansion. Whenever we are on the verge of the next level, unconscious resistance to that expansion may surface, and most likely will surface. And for each of us, that can look a little bit different. It can look like the mind doubting that it's possible or that we're capable of taking things up a notch, moving into greater. It could be reasons that we give power to in the external, like time or money or resources, justifications that we attempt to make with why we deserve it. There can be all kinds of old programming. And what that old programming is simply a choice made at one point to live at a certain level of consciousness using certain belief systems and ways of being to function. There's nothing wrong with any of that. Recognize, however, that the mind, survival consciousness, is going to function in favor of keeping everything the same. Because from its point of view, from that aspect of consciousness point of view, separation from source, we're safe if everything stays the same. So the unconscious resistance, the conscious resistance that may show up in our world, and it could be something internal going on, a conversation, a struggle. It could be outer, crazy, that shows up that says you can't go there. They're actually both the same thing. They're frequency. They're the frequency of the old ways of being in survival consciousness that say, you can't cross this line, because if you do, you're not going to be safe. We don't know what's beyond this line. It's the unknown. And we've survived here, so let's just stay here where it's safe. So because life continually wishes to move into greater, that's its main underlying pulse, to move into more of itself, the next level of itself, to evolve into greater. We can develop a way of being with this resistance where we can actually know what it is, welcome it, be present with it, and choose to not believe what it's telling us. In other words, we don't have to agree to it. We can thank it for how it served us in the past. And we can choose to continue to step and choose in the direction of the expansion. And it can be in small ways or what we would consider big ways. There's really no difference. In other words, we can choose in spite of the fear. Even though there's fear present, saying, oh, I don't know about this. Now, there's a difference between the fear that comes from this mechanism, this defense mechanism of resistance and trying to keep everything the same, and the fear that is actually a pulse saying, it's not time, or maybe not this way. So we're going to bring in some energetic downloads to support you in discerning the difference. And one of the ways to bypass, it's like a shortcut into really getting in your discernment in the presence of any thought, any energy, is to simply state the choice to be in your knowing. I am in my knowing. And the mechanism I love to use is if I'm being, for instance, I recently relocated And when I could feel into the expansion that represented for me, simultaneously, what's also present are these thoughts of, but we're okay where we are, and we kind of like it here, and we've established certain, community here, and, all of these reasons to stay. And so I looked at that, I was present with it, and I felt the energy, because that's how I navigate, that you may navigate in your own unique way. But I could feel the pull and I could feel the expansion that the relocation represented. So I've cultivated for myself, always choosing in favor of the expansion, just because I know that it always brings an upgrade with it. More joy, more happiness, next level. And so that's my renegade self saying, I'm going to choose anyway to go where I'm being called because I can feel it. Now, if you haven't yet developed that faculty, that's okay. There are ways you uniquely can navigate through when you can really feel this pull, this knowing to take a step or to move in a direction. Maybe it's to ask for a promotion or to apply for a certain job or place to live, or to go talk to somebody that you're interested in, that you just know you're supposed to meet, whatever it is. And so there are different tools you can use while you're in the presence of the resistance itself. And one of the ones I like to use is to just simply breathe, move into a witness stance, connect to my higher self, invite my body to be able to do the same, and simply state, I'm willing to release all the meaning I've given this. Will you show me the truth? Or you reinterpret it into a higher octave for me? And then I just breathe and I allow, and I allow, literally let my divine self release any of the stories, the resistance, the fear, the uncertainty, and reinterpret really uncertainty. And there's a whole teaching around that we could even do. But this kind of gives you a taste of how you function in the presence of the resistance and choose around it, while honoring that it's present, allowing it to be there, breathing, not agreeing with it, not aligning with it, not allowing it to dictate your choice. The other way it can show up is, well, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough support or resources in the outer. Maybe it's childcare, maybe it's pet care, maybe it's a vehicle to drive, whatever. And so that's the mind already in a decision that it knows how we're going to be able to do XYZ. And actually, there are infinite ways that XYZ could manifest for us. And when we begin moving in that direction, we begin to inform all that is of our choice. So it can begin to formulate the way will be made. But we have to first choose in that direction. And so as we begin to choose in a direction, processing the resistance that comes up, that's how we move through the imaginary walls that appear to limit us. And so the idea of not enough time, not enough resources, not enough whatever in the outer world, not enough resources in the outer world, when we try to function from deciding from that place, that's allowing what is already manifested to inform our choice. And in fact, this out here is simply reflecting what we've chosen in the past. So if we are really deeply choosing a new reality, an expansion, a beyond, an elevation into greater, we have to at some point be willing to not believe this is the be all end all, whatever's showing up in the outer. That's just an echo of the past. So if money wasn't an issue, time wasn't an issue, childcare wasn't an issue, if a car wasn't an issue, if resources weren't an issue, what would I choose? What am I being called to choose? And choose in that direction in spite of the outer, because the outer will conform to meet you at your choice as you begin to walk through that corridor. It takes courage, it takes tenacity, trust in the universal laws, in your light. And all of that's cultivated. So you can begin to do this in small ways that are a little less threatening maybe to you to begin with, and practice and notice how the outer mirror reflection transforms to meet you at your choice. Because in truth, you are a powerful being that is intended to expand into the truth of its infinite nature. But only you can take the step toward it. No one can do it for you. Hopefully you found this transmission supportive for you. And if you have any questions, email us. We love to support you and to remind you of what's possible for you. We also have other videos on our YouTube channel and other offerings on our website at embracingtheinfinite.com. May you continue to move in the direction of your expansion in an empowered and honoring way. Much love.